Here on The Colour of Country Life, it's great to be speaking with one of our regular friends, Emma Keeley, the member for Lowan. Emma, you've got a new role in the Victorian National Party.
Yeah, that's right, Ricky. Steph Ryan, who's been deputy leader of the party for 8 years now, has made the decision to step down from politics, and so I'm very fortunate and very proud that my Nationals team, the people that support me, who are all fierce advocates for their own areas of rural and regional Victoria, they have supported me to become the deputy leader of the Nationals in Victoria. It's a fantastic honour and a privilege to be able to lead a party that I absolutely believe in and know is the best party when it comes to standing up for rural and regional Victoria and making sure that our voice is heard.
Now, a few things to reflect on there. First of all, Steph Ryan, something of a trailblazer. I think she mentioned in her resignation notice, I guess the public statement she issued, she was one of the first women in leadership positions, I think, in the National Party in the nation.
Yeah, probably in any party, to be honest. It was a big shift to have a younger female in a leadership role, and even to get into politics. We're still seeing some shifts ahoy where it needs to become more welcoming for women to enter politics, more supportive. But I think that the Nationals are leading the way when it comes to seeing what women bring to the role, whether it's as a member of parliament or whether it's in leadership roles. And we know that women have always contributed so much in our rural communities through leadership in community groups and organisations and in businesses. And it's great to see that that's now flowing through and into politics as well, because it is important that young women who've got an interest in politics can see that that might be them in the future. They might be whether it's in a leadership position in a political party, it might be looking to be CEO of a business, that might be going out on their own and doing their own thing and creating their own business. It might be making the decision to stay at home and look after their kids and to be someone who is focused on home life. It doesn't make any difference what the choice is. It's important that women are supported to do what they choose to do and what's best for them.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, because Steph Ryan, reading between the lines, she has indicated that she's moving on because she found political life, I don't know if it's fair to paraphrase it like this, wasn't really compatible with having a young family. You've had to juggle that yourself. Is there still some more work to be done to make politics more compatible for women who have got kids, or is it actually just one of the challenges of the job?
I think politics is shifting in that more younger people are getting involved, and you know, it's been a situation where men who are parents have also been in time-consuming positions in politics, and the question's never really asked of them, or what are you doing with the kids while you're in Melbourne or in Canberra or wherever your time's being drawn. And while it's an important thing that we talk about in terms of women in politics, I think it's also a conversation that needs to be had around men in politics, because it's equally as important that dads are involved in a children's life as it is that mums are involved in a children's life. And at the end of the day, Ricky, it takes a village to raise a child, and I've got enormous support from my loving partner, Chris. My parents are amazing, Rob and Liz. They've always provided endless support, not just to me and my brother, but also to my kids. And I know that they're there and will continue to do that. And it's just so reassuring for me to know that it's not just mum and dad that love those kids. It's also their grandparents, their cousins, their aunties and uncles. It's a big, big family, and they know that they are loved by many, and they've got somebody to turn to talk about those challenges in life if ever they need to get there. So it's more than just one person's job these days. It's not just a mum's job, it's many people's job, and I think we need to do more to break down those barriers as you know, and it is changing. We need to recognise that as well.
Yeah, it's a great point you make about dads in politics. Just on your former roles, Peter Walsh has flagged that, among others, you had some high-profile roles in the local health sector, and says that's a critical conversation going into the November election. You're going to continue to be the shadow mental health minister? You don't take on any new portfolios in this deputy leadership role?
There hasn't been a reshuffle announced at this point in time. I'm not expecting that there will be a change. I'm very, very much embedded in those portfolios of mental health, prevention of family violence and women, and I understand the sector well, and I think importantly it means a lot to me. I really want to see a difference when it comes to building a workforce within mental health, so that no matter where you live, if you're living in the furthest corners of the state, you should be able to access mental health support when you need it. And we simply don't get that in Victoria at the moment. And even though the Andrews Labor government were warned by the Royal Commission 3 years ago that they needed to build up a mental health workforce, we still haven't seen it turn into a reality. And we're also seeing these mega mergers of hospitals across the state, which I think is putting a lot of our smaller rural communities at risk of not having access to a doctor or to a health professional to get that support when they need it. And the perennial issue of roads, that always comes up. We probably see more waste on projects in Melbourne, than more money wasted in Melbourne on those mega projects than we do actually invested in fixing our roads and making them safe, not just for people looking to get to work, but it's how we get our freight around. It's how we get to footy training. It's how we get to school. It's important that we have safe roads, and they're just getting worse and worse under the Andrews Labor government, who seems solely focused on what happens in Melbourne and has forgotten the rest of the state.
Well, Emma Keeley, thanks very much for catching up with us briefly today. Appreciate that in your new role as Deputy Leader of the National Party. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Ricky.